What's up, guys? George here, and I wanted to share a little something. I had a bunch of people who messaged me about how I, was able to get my running time down so fast, so quickly, and being able to run a 1 mile in less than 5 minutes and 45 seconds. When a year ago I couldn't even really run at all. And well, there was a lot of things that I did, but the biggest thing out of everything that I learned and that was able to push me past that barrier was up here in my mind. See, a lot of what holds us back really is mental. We like to stop when we become uncomfortable, but we don't really push ourselves to that point of exhaustion. And there's a huge difference between being uncomfortable and exhaustion. We actually have a part of our brain, a real part of the brain, that's called the internal general. And what this internal general does is when you hit a point of being uncomfortable, the internal general kicks on and tells you to stop. Tells you kind of as almost, as a precautionary type of indicator that you're pushing yourself to a point of where you're uncomfortable, and so to stop. But it's not really, you can actually push yourself much farther beyond that point. And you actually have to train your internal general that you can push yourself way beyond that point of comfort. And so that's why a lot of times, for example, if you're running, if you're lifting weights or something, and all of a sudden you get to that point where like, I'm pretty tired, this burns, it hurts, I feel like I'm gonna throw up, I need to give up, my legs are burning. That's that internal general that's saying, okay, you know what, time to rest. But real Olympic athletes and people that are professional athletes and endurance runners and ultra marathons, they have learned to tell that internal general to shut up, that they just keep pushing past it. When they feel like their legs are just burning and that they're gonna throw up, they realize that that's just a little warning sign, but it's nothing, that they can still go way beyond that. And as they push themselves way beyond that, eventually that internal general goes, oh, okay, all right, I get it. And that internal general starts to ease up, and eventually starts to ease up so that you can push yourself beyond what you're normally comfortable with. And the internal general won't kick on till later. And that's why if you talk, I've listened to, a lot of, exceptional athletes and people throughout history that were great athletes and read their books and so forth. And for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he said that there was so many times where he actually literally threw up in the gym, where he passed out, where he fainted. He couldn't even count all the amount of times that happened to him. Or Muhammad Ali, I remember one time in an interview, he was asked, how many crunches can you do? And he said, I don't even know. I don't even start counting until I'm in pain, because that's the only time that it matters. That's when I start counting, is when I'm actually in pain. Because that's really the only time that it matters. And a lot of people, they ask about becoming an entrepreneur and how to be, successful an entrepreneur and stuff like that, but they're not really willing to push themselves past being uncomfortable. I hear so many people complain, I worked a 40-hour week this week. Oh my gosh, now I gotta go to the bar and drink like 15 beers on Friday because I'm so tired from working a 40-hour week. Where, if you want to be an entrepreneur, a business owner, you might have to, get up at 6, 5, 4 o'clock in the morning, work all day long, and maybe not, unplug and go to sleep until midnight. I mean, many times I have to run on 4 hours of sleep, and it is exhausting. But if you want to live the good life, you have to put up and achieve your dreams, then you're going to have to push yourself beyond what is just comfortable. I mean, it's comfortable just to, get up at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 or 10 or whatever. That's comfortable. It's very uncomfortable to get up at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, running on 4 hours of sleep when you're tired and you're exhausted and you got a busy day ahead of you. But that's really what's gonna make the results, when you push yourselves beyond those barriers of comfort. So if you're not happy in the situation that you are, you got to ask yourself, why is it that you, if you're not happy with the body you have, why is it that you cheated on that meal? Why is it that you ate that slice of pizza when you knew that it was going to be more of a challenge to eat the healthier food? Why is it that you went out and drank 15 beers last night when you knew that the next day you should have got up earlier, hit the gym, worked out, read some books, and did a lot of productive things in your life? Why is it that you chose to watch 2 hours of TV last night instead of reading books and educating your mind? Why is it that you choose to watch an hour a day of Empire when you won't even put in 20 hours a week of learning how to build an empire? You got to start to ask those questions. Are you just living in a life of comfort and just stopping right when you hit the level of you're uncomfortable? Or are you pushing yourself to a point of exhaustion? Because when you push yourself to the level of exhaustion, that's when the real results will start to happen. And that's when real change will start to happen in your life. See, I hit a plateau when I was trying to run my mile. And it was because I would stop when I would get uncomfortable. As soon as I would get to that point where I was uncomfortable, I would just stop. And I'd say, okay, I don't want to hurt myself. But then eventually I learned, you know what, I can push way beyond this. I can push myself. And so that's why when I get on now, I try to run so hard that I don't care if I'm throwing up. And I've had to run into the bathroom to throw up. One time I tore my Achilles tendon about 6 months ago when I was running on the treadmill, and I couldn't run for about a month. It took me about a month to get off. But you know what, that's what it takes. I was reading this book called The Perfect Mile about Roger Bannister and how he broke the 4-minute mile. And I remember when he used to run in his races, he would push himself to the point where everything would black out. His legs would go numb and everything. He couldn't hear any sounds. He couldn't see anything. And he would literally feel like he was going to die. And he would tell himself, you know what? This is a good day to die because I am pursuing my dream and my goal and my mission. And that's how he broke the 4-minute mile. And he said that it was all up here. I mean, yeah, the training helped, but he said there was other exceptional athletes that could run just as fast as him, some of them even faster. But it was this guy up here. It was his gift in being able to push himself past that point of being uncomfortable to the level of exhaustion. So guys, go out, push yourself, challenge yourself in something this week, push yourself in something past the point of being uncomfortable and to the level of exhaustion. Make it a great day.